All right. Hey, everybody. Actually, let me move you all over while we get started and get this out of your eyes. All right, there we go. Hey, welcome to my temporary studio. So, this is a location that may or may not work for streaming. And if it doesn't work for streaming, I'll stop it here and then I'll just find a better location in this area. But right now, I'm kind of underground, and so my Wi Fi signal is not that great. So let me know in the comments if the audio is not all that great. In the meantime, I'm going to give everybody a chance to get started and kind of join us. So what we're going to do is figure out, actually, let me switch you over to here. We're going to figure out how to finish this piece. There are a couple of things that I wanted to change about it. One is that this green here doesn't read very well anymore. Now that the paint has dried, it's had a chance to darken. It's not reading very well anymore. Here, let me bring you guys all over to me, and I can talk to you. There, how's that? I have a few odds and ends that we can use. Oh, Oh, excellent. Thank you. I can barely read the comments over where that monitor is, so forgive me for not reading your names. Oh, thanks, Yaz. Anyway, so I have a few odds and ends that we can try to finish the surrounding area here. I'm still not sure if it needs it, so let me know what you think. I have some, what this is called magnet wire. It's very thin. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's very thin wire, and it's used for electromagnets. So this stuff, though, I got from an internship like 30 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it's 20 years older than that. So nobody's missing it. Anyway, I also have some thicker magnet wire. This is all just copper wire with this kind of thin coat of like enamel on it to insulate it. And this actually came out of a motor for a garage door opener. So if you're looking for magnet wire, take your garage door opener apart and start pulling apart that motor. And if you're still living at home with your parents, just tell them I said it was okay, and I'm sure they'll be fine with it. Oh, thank you, Yaz. Yeah, I really love this piece too. But I feel like I kind of painted myself in a corner, so to speak, in that it's missing something. But in the meantime, as people join, let's just get started with these leaves here. And basically, I want to focus on this one down here and lighten that up. So I'm going to kind of zoom you all in. The way my camera works is that I basically have to make you all seasick while I zoom you all in. All right. There you go. Next time I'll tell you close your eyes before I move you. So I'm going to start with a kind of a gentle mix of sap green and a little bit of cadmium yellow. So this is cadmium yellow medium hue. It's kind of a school bus yellow. And the idea here is that I'm just going to kind of just gently rotate these into each other and just do a kind of a loose mix. That's kind of my thing. Just trying to get a loose mix of colors until you get the color you want. That's pretty good. And I want to leave the colors separate in areas so that it gives the whole piece some energy and some variation. And so we'll just come in here and come right up to the edge. And you want to if you're going to work on an edge, you want to push the paint up to the edge. You don't want to just start at the edge. This works for painting ceilings and walls in your house, and it works for painting your artwork. So what you do is come in a little bit of ways from the edge and just push the brush down just a little bit until it meets that edge. And then I don't want a clean edge inside. I want to leave this clean edge here, but I don't want this new edge to be all that clean. I mean, kind of go on whatever, you know, it's painting by vibes here at this point. Because if you don't, that's what happens here. All right. It's great to see you too, Yaz. I know it's been a while. It's been crazy. We've been moving around and getting some work done on our actual house to the point that we actually had to move out for a bit. And I'm actually, funny enough, in my parents' basement. But hopefully they'll be done with all the repair work and stuff. And we can move back in early December. In the meantime, we get to eat my parents' food, and they're out of town. So, let me move this out of my way. There. That's better. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. I'm about to move you again. So close your eyes for a second. All right. And I think what I want to do is lighten this one as well. And I can leave these because this one is darker than this one. This one has receded into the back, and I want this one also receding behind the flowers. But I think this one I'm going to leave, and then we'll redo this one as well. And again, just working on edges, you're just going to push up to the edge. And if you have any ideas on what I should do to complete this area, I am all ears. In fact, I do have one idea. I'm not sure what I think of it yet. All right, and then we're going to just blend in. And get kind of blend in until it becomes more of a thin layer rather than just trying to cover that original green. All right. Let's see. I cannot read what you've written, Yaz. Let me 1 second. Let me move my second monitor here. Okay, that's not going to move. I have no space over there. Yeah, everything will be fine with the renovations. I think we got past the part where they found all the weird things that the builders had done 50, 60 years ago. And so luckily it wasn't a huge amount of things that they had to do, but yeah, I think we're past that part, and I think they're on to the fixing stuff part. So, and yeah, my parents are actually out of town, so we kind of have the run of the house. It's not that big a house anyway, so if they were here, it wouldn't have really worked out. But yeah, it's actually it was a huge blessing that they were able to let us borrow their house while they're out, and yeah, I know that's something that not a lot of people have available to them. So, all right, now, so on this piece, I want the flowers rough. I want the leaves kind of to recede so that I want the nice clean edges and things kind of flat for the most part. So I am blending on canvas, blending the two colors. And I think that's kind of as far as I can go with those. Let's let them dry for now and see what happens when they're drier. For now, though, I was thinking of using this kind of more coppery color wire and going to like kind of some more, oh, I kind of need you there. Putting like kind of leaves or like angles. It might be something I just have to show you. So let me zoom you out, and so everybody close your eyes while I shake the camera around. All right. Now, the cool thing about being in my parents' basement is it's actually my dad's wood shop. And so he's got all sorts of fun tools that if I can get to it in the next couple of weeks, we might be able to do something fun down here. I'm not really a woodworker. I don't pretend to be. So just have to watch my fingers. I did take a shop class in college. That was for model making. I was an industrial design major. And so we got to play with a lot of tools. I was actually back at my alma mater recently, and everything's changed. It's all CNCs and 3D printing, and I'm like, where's the fun in that? No bandsaws to cut your fingers off? Come on. So I was thinking of something like this where it would be more like that, and kind of just shapes like that around here. And oh, thanks, yes. Yeah, it's a couple of feet away from me. Making do as I can, you know. So I was thinking of doing that. So it's like kind of more angular, just to kind of echo the angles in all of these shapes. But then I was thinking, because we have these curly cues, to kind of break that up, I was thinking of doing something where it would be more like small curly cues. And I really more like that. I like rounded shapes much, much better than angles. So I was thinking something like that. I think we're going to just kind of have to go for it and see what happens. I don't want it to look like a big spring all the way around here. So I'm thinking maybe little pieces. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, all right, so let's try that. The trick is to get it into the canvas because I don't want to glue them on. I want them to be attached to the canvas. And so let's try and poke this in here. There we go. I'm thinking that that's the way to go. That's where I'm at. And then on the back, eventually I'll go around the back, just fold those all down. And I do actually have, I found clear gesso. This is Liquitex, not sponsored. I found clear gesso and I'm using it on another piece to actually attach things to a board. So far so good. I'll let you know how it goes. But normally what I would do is use like contact cement or something on the back. If anybody has any ideas of what else I could use, let me know. And I'll try that as well. So I'm thinking something like this. Yeah. And then just go around a paintbrush or whatever you got. BRB. All right. The other nice thing about being in my dad's workshop is that he has accumulated every tool known to people, including tools that people have forgotten exist, like hand drills. So the frame is back here, and that's causing a problem. Yeah, so I really enjoy trying different tools and materials and things like that. So this is going to give me an opportunity to try new things. Although I did this morning come up with another idea that I really wanted to try. I actually almost didn't do this live stream. I almost did a new piece, which is a bismuth sailboat. And bismuth is a metal that makes kind of like rainbow colors. Actually, I have a piece of it here. So this stuff is bismuth. It's kind of brittle, so you can just kind of crunch it like that. It melts at a low temperature like tin does. It's not as expensive as tin is these days. It makes those rainbow colors, and I was thinking, you know, I think a ship would be nice. Oh, yeah, E6000, that's kind of my go-to, yeah. I thought it was contact cement. It might not be. It might be its own kind of thing. I try not to give brand names, you know, airtime or whatever you call them. Not that my audience is that big that I'd influence a million people, but I just, you know. All right. So we have that. All right, since these are giving me a hard time going in, I'm going to use, if I can find it. Oh, right in front of me. I'm going to use a sewing needle. Just kind of open up that space a little bit. and then come back in, and that should work. There we go. All right. Okay, so in case I didn't mention it, this is a used canvas. There's tons of paint on here. There's the original painting, and then at least another 2 layers of paint on it. So trying to get the wire through it, it's a little challenging, but made it happen. All right, so I think that kind of works. The other idea I had was to actually use, this is why this bismuth is out, is little pieces of this bismuth is like kind of a night sky kind of thing. I don't know if, well, anyway. A night sky kind of thing with like a bunch of little stars all around it. So I could try that. And that's actually where the idea of this clear gesso comes in. I only used it over white, so I don't want to kind of lighten this blue. But that's the other idea I had. Any votes, one way or the other? It's like something. Like that. All right. I'm going to continue with the curly cues. I like that they're giving it some dimension, but if anybody has a vote for bismuth stars kind of all around here, let me know. Because I'm kind of digging that. I think that might be the way to go. I did it on another piece, and it really looked nice. And it could be more subtle because these are more like the blues and purples than this before I continue to put holes in my canvas. All right, let's try it. Everything's an experiment, and you never know what's going to happen. All right. All right. To get this to work, I'm going to move all of you. Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, that stars sound much better. I'm going to move all of you. So we're going to lay this canvas down a little bit. So close your eyes for a minute while I adjust everything. All right, here we go. All right. So the way I've done this before is I've used matte varnish, also Liquitex, not sponsored, but it's really actually pretty easy. So this. Oh, my varnish. All right. So my varnish is pretty much dried out, but we're still going to use it because it will still dry clear. And this will give me a little bit more control. So the idea is we're going to just kind of put a field down, and we're just going to work in a small section. And then kind of round these out a little bit, little crystals out a little bit. All right. And of course, we just have to wait for that to dry. Now, the funny thing about this house is it's actually really dry in here. So things should dry relatively quickly. And actually in my regular studio space, it's usually pretty humid and it takes forever for things to dry. So let's see how this works out for us. And Dad, if you're watching, I will clean these pliers off for you, don't worry. Now, there we go. The quicker way to do this and the more organic looking way to do this is to just crumple up your bismuth. Oh, and my wife and I got matching tattoos today at an autumn fair or a fall fair. So what do you think? A friend of ours designed them. We stole them from the kids thing. So I made these bismuth panels before for another piece that I ended up just really not liking. So they kind of have this goop on the back that I use to attach them. The goop being clear caulk. All right, so this is what I mean that it's already starting to dry. I think that'll be nice. I think if it doesn't work out, I can always transplant the flowers to a new canvas and start over. But as you can see, this paint is actually already mostly dry. That's how dry it is in here. All right. So we're gonna just go around the edge here and give the flowers some breathing room. when I said this place is dry, it is crazy dry in here. So getting this to stay wet for long enough for these to actually have something to hold on to, it's kind of a trick. So I'm going to glaze over them, which means that if I decide later I don't like this, they're in there and that's pretty much it. I could get a solvent and kind of work on that, but it would probably at that point be easier to just transplant the flowers to a new canvas and never tell anybody that I did that. All right. Oh, I'm glad you're finding it relaxing. It's kind of meditative to do this. All right. Let's move up to kind of here. And we'll go across. And back down. Yeah, that sounds good. The reason I'm saying that is because I was considering just starting up here. But, and then just kind of making it look like they're falling, cascading. But I think I can do that either way. It's going to kind of work out either way. Okay, everybody, close your eyes. I'm moving you again. All right, you can open your eyes again. Thanks, Yaz. I think this is turning out better than the wire would have. My idea is that as we move up to the top, there'll be more and more of these, as if they're kind of falling. All right. Let's just crunch up some more of this. Bismuth ASMR. Now, the thing about my artwork is that, for the most part, I don't have a plan. I mean, I kind of have a plan going in. I have an idea of what I want to create, but you'll hear me say this a lot, is that for the most part, I let the art kind of go where it wants. I make it up as I go, and I think for the most part, things work out really well that way. Oh, yes. Let me get you a close-up of these. My camera will... Here. The one thing I like about them too is that the edges are generally... Why is this not working? Does that work? There you go. All right, that's what it looks like as a sheet. And then this is what it looks like as the crumbles. Yeah, I love bismuth. It's so 5-pound brick of it, or even a 10-pound brick of it, it's like $50. But it can last, depending on what you're making with it, it'll go pretty far. You're not really gonna get, I mean, if you're making bismuth crystals, I'm pretty sure they'll go pretty far. I don't really do bismuth crystals. I kind of find them tedious, so I don't do them. That means it's difficult for me to do them, and I don't like that. But I do a lot of like sheets and shapes, and I'll cut it. And I have a piece coming up that I will use one of these I'll use a couple of these sheets, and I'll cut out the kind of the characters for the painting. So that might be a longer form video. I'm trying to start getting back into those. All right. This should be enough. Just gonna have to work fast because, like I said, over and over again, it is really dry in here. So we have to work really fast and get these on there. All right. All right, so now we have the crystals. We're going to move up to here, and for the most part, I'm going to do kind of like a denser amount of them. I think that's the word I'm looking for. All right, and the thing I don't like about it is they're all too much in a row up here. So I'm just, here, let me get you guys over there. So they're all kind of too much in a row over here. So I'll just start moving them around. All right. My other thing is I tend not to plan ahead, so I'm running out of my my clear lacquer, my clear varnish. So what I'm going to end up doing is coming over this piece once this is all dry with a gloss varnish and give it a little bit more shine. It will also make it a little bit more uniform. Yeah, I was looking for bismuth. I was looking for something that, well, I've seen, like, when if you go to like the Natural History Museum, you'll see these bismuth crystals that are like these kind of stair step looking cube, curly Q looking things. And I was trying to figure out what that was, and it said bismuth crystals. And then on and off, I kind of forgot about it because it seemed like something that would be dangerous to work with at home or whatever. But then I was looking for something that was like a metal that was easy to melt and relatively safe. And so bismuth came up as that metal. And the price continues to go up, as we all know. I will stop talking about it there. The price keeps going up, and which is fine because I don't need any right now. But if I do need more, I'm not sure what it would cost. But like I said, when I got this chunk of bismuth, it was like 10 pounds for $50. Oh, and that's the other place I heard about it. If you've ever heard of Nile Red, he does chemistry stuff, and he extracted the bismuth out of Pepto-Bismol, which is where Pepto-Bismol gets its name. So there's like small amounts of bismuth in it. So it's really safe to work with. I would not work with it in your house just because there's other stuff in the bismuth that you get as big blocks. And I also use a gas camping stove to melt it so I can work outside. And the gas fumes, they give me a headache. So I'd use caution if you're going to do this in the house. One of my crystals is coming off down at the bottom here. Let's try that. There we go. All right. Here, let me rotate this a little bit. All right. And let's move all of you over here. There you go. Okay. Yeah, so I always recommend people just try stuff. I mean, that's my thing, but I was always nervous to try things. I always thought, oh, that's for somebody else to do. And I couldn't do it. But I've found as I've gotten older that if you kind of take it a step at a time, then you'll learn and you can do it yourself too. So if you're kind of young or new at it, maybe tag team with somebody. Even if they don't know what they're doing, you can watch out for each other while you're working, and you'll figure it out. There we go. I think after this stream, I'm going to let this dry and come back and do a second drop of the crystals. I don't know if you can see this one. It is one of the very few red ones. I guess maybe not. Anyway, it's one of the few red ones. Normally, like the bismuth has like kind of like it goes from like oranges to blues and greens, and I hardly ever see. And there's purples, of course. I hardly ever see red in there, so it's kind of cool to see some red in there. Thanks, Yaz. Yeah, I can't wait either because it never ends up looking the way I expect. And like for the example, like this green here, I was expecting the greens in that we painted originally. I was expecting them to stay nice and bright, and they really darkened up on me. So it's always an adventure. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Is that too old a reference? Everybody knows that reference, right? Cool. I'm glad it's not too old a reference. Every once in a while, I'll say something. I'll quote a movie or whatever, and people are just like, "What?" I quoted the Blues Brothers today, and the guy I was sitting with is about my age, and he wasn't quite sure what I was saying. So, all right. I should say, crunching up bismuth like this, just be careful that you're not pressing an edge into your hand. It's really brittle, but it will also cut you. Kind of like a paper cut. So, not fun, not horrible, just painful. So just kind of work with the press your finger into the flat parts, you know, and it will break. we'll spend a little bit more time on this and kind of see what we get. But at this point, I'm going to have to let it dry overnight. Before moving on to kind of that second layer of these crystals. So if anybody wanted to see them up close, they look more like this up close. All right. It looks like just in the nick of time because I'm running out. Oh wait, can you see in there? No, yeah, I'm kind of running out of this too. So, and I really don't want to switch to the clear gesso because I don't know how it will behave on top of this. Here, let me move you guys over here. See if you can see me better or hear me better. Ah, there we go. All right. All right. All right. So I always tell people that at the end of my videos that you are creative and that your art is enough. And on occasion, really rarely, but on occasion, people question me on my sincerity. And I'll tell you, for years I told my dad that he was creative and he was an artist in his own way. He was an electrical engineer for close to 45 years. And he never thought that he was an artist or anything like that. When he retired, he started making these wooden bowls. that are beautiful, and they incorporate his kind of aesthetic sensibilities of an engineer. So there's the precision behind these bowls, these cuts of the angles that he cuts and things like that, and the consideration of the colors of the wood species. And he usually works with these tiny little pieces of wood that he gets from a specialty shop, and they're all beautiful. They all are beautiful, and they are all his babies. True to many artists, these are his babies, and he's not selling them. And he will, on rare occasions, give them away, but they are his bowls, and he doesn't really want to give them away, even to his loving children. He's given away a couple, but not, like, you can't just go up to, hey, Dad, can we have that really cool one over there? No, it's his. So you are creative. If you don't think that you're creative, I guarantee that there's something that you're creative about. And it could be, hey, you're really creative at rocketry. I don't know. Maybe you're an engineer. Look, especially if you're an engineer, you're creative. You're designing circuits. You're designing mechanical things. You're designing systems. That's all creative stuff. And you can port that sensibility into the ideas of just fine art, if that's something that interests you. So that's where I come from on that. So here's, let me move you the audio again here, get that out of the way. And here's what it looks like so far. It is, there we go. It is still very wet. I will finish up this video kind of the same live stream style. I will finish up this video when I have more to share with you. And but for now, if you want to see what this looks like in the end, when it does dry and I do finish it, feel free to give it a like, subscribe, and it will be up eventually. It'll probably take a couple of weeks before I actually get to be able to finish it. All of these pieces do take quite a while to finish. And in the meantime, I'm going to have a new short up after Halloween. I have a Halloween party to go to, and so there probably won't be a video for that. But there will be a video that Friday after. For Halloween, what I might give you all is a quick tip on instead of reference photos, what I do instead from here on out. So I kind of discovered this by accident. I'm going to share that all with you in a short. So if you want to see that, also subscribe, and you'll see that this coming Friday. Anyway, thank you all very much for hanging around with me, and I really had some fun doing this, and it was kind of meditative for me, so I'm glad it was relaxing for a few of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Yeah. All right. I'm getting used to this whole live stream thing. You know, I don't do them very often, and yeah. So, actually, let me switch to here, and then I can talk to you and move this out of the way. All right. There you go. Now you can see my smiley face. All right. So, anyway, thank you again for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.